Thank you everyone for tuning in. So I would like to say that this purple and gold look is inspired by the Los Angeles Lakers, but I don't watch sports, so here we go. So I start by filling in my brows, and what I'm using today is a dark brown pencil by Eylure. And I just usually follow my natural arch just to keep them pretty tame and just give them a little boost. After I fill in my brows, I go under to highlight them with a little concealer that's about 2 or 3 shades lighter than my natural complexion. After that, I'll apply primer to my face and a different one to my eyelids. So the primer that I use for my face is an oil control primer because I have combination skin and some spots that tend to get a little shiny. The primer that I use on my eyes is by NYX Cosmetics, and it usually makes my lid smoother and makes the color stand out. Also, it gives a little reflective tones for when you use eyeshadows that have glitters in them. Now, when I choose the products that I use in my face, I use a variety of expensive and inexpensive products. It's usually what I like, what I see, or what I'm willing to try. So for the base on my eyes, I have some Juvia's foundation stick, and that's just to give me a smooth, even tone to base my colors on. But what I found of Juvia's products is that they're made for all types of skin tones and they go on very well. My yellow is from the Juvia's Warrior palette, and I'm just filling in the base of my eyelid with heavy set of the yellow eyeshadow. Next, I switched out my brush and I'm applying a deep purple from that same palette over top of the yellow. So I stopped the yellow at the natural crease of my eyebrow, and I'm taking the purple almost all the way up to the top where I have the light concealer. Juvia has these mini palettes of different colors, and this is the first one that I purchased, which is a set of purples. So after I put in the dark purple, I'm going over with a more controlled tip and putting in an even darker purple from the Berry palette. So often I hear people say, how do you get everything to be so perfect? And it's not about perfection, it's about blending, trying to get a nice even look, and you can always go in and clean up when necessary. So next I have just a heavy black eyeliner, and because of the shape of my eyes, I've realized that if I just fill in the corner until slightly past the middle instead of lining the whole bottom of my eye, it gives me a better look. I don't like black liner across the bottom of my entire lid. But I use one pencil for the waterline of my eye, and then I have a felt tip liner that I received in my Ipsy palette that I'm going to use to top of my lid and work on my wing sides. As you can see, I shaked my head because sometimes I have an issue with getting that line done, and this time it seemed to turn out okay. But as I said, if at first you don't succeed, always have a Q-tip handy. So I'm filling in the edges of my wing by bringing the top line to the bottom line and bringing it all in together. Now what I'm doing here at the bottom is adding some purple to the bottom of my lid just to make the purple pop. Now if you're uncomfortable with having that much color on the base of your eyes, just leave it with the black liner and throw on some mascara. And for the corner of my eyes, just to give it a little pop and brightness, I use the lightest color, sparkling purple on my palette to give it a little bit of pop. And then we have the mascara. I use a variety of different mascaras, but what I've realized is it's the brush that makes the difference. So this brush gives me a little bit more fuller look and spreads out my lashes to give me a nice dramatic effect to the liner. So now it's time for some foundation. And what I've found is that my skin tone changes being here in sunny Florida. So I used a mixture of the Il Makiage foundation and the Juvia's Palace foundation. And I'll give you the colors that I use for my skin tone. But what I like about both of these foundations is that they have such a wide variety that you're certain to find your perfect match. But I like how the two blend, so I've been working those two in together. And I'm not a big fan of high coverage foundation, so I try to keep it minimal, especially when I'm going to work. The next thing I'm adding is just a little bit of concealer under my eyes to get rid of the dark spots and to add a little bit of highlight just for some contouring on my face. So with the blending sponge, I've added just a little bit of powder just to spread out that concealer and not have a heavy matted look on my face. One thing you'll notice is that I try to keep my looks pretty natural because I want you to recognize me when I have makeup on and when it's off. So next I'm adding a little bit of contouring to my cheeks by taking an angled brush and putting a dark brown line on my face. I use the same powder to make a little line on my nose just to add some definition to my nose. Now this is not something that I would do on an everyday basis, but I wanted to give it a try and see how it turned out. I appreciate your feedback. So one thing that I've noticed is that stark lines on your face does not look good. It's not a natural look. So after I'm done, I'm always taking a blending brush just to brush out the lines. So on top of my contouring line, I have some blush just to add a little pop and a little rosy color to my cheeks. So what I like to do is just give a natural smile. It makes the apple of my cheek stand out and give me a good place to start and blend back towards my eyes. So I'm just going back, filling in the last little pieces of my brow that I messed up when I was putting my foundation on. And then for the final touch, I add a little bit of Juvia's Place dusting powder to my face, and it has a gold finish to it, but not too much. So just when the light hits it, you'll have that nice little sparkle, or somebody will say, oh wow, it looked like you're really glowing today. Well, Actually, I am. And the blush that I used didn't really show up as much as I wanted to, so I'm going back over it with one of the pinks from my Juvia's palette, and I'm mixing that with a little bit of the dusting powder. But again, I don't want anything to be too dramatic, so I'm just blending it all in with the blending brush. So just a few finishing touches. And with this fan brush, I brush away any excess powder just to finish up my look and make sure everything looks nice and neat. Final step is just a little bit of setting spray to seal my look. And of course, take that pin out of my hair so I can let my bangs fall. And there you have it. Okay, friends, tell me what you think. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.